Right, let's move on to tackle 4 then, and we can't talk this week about Rugby League without discussing the timeline for the IMG gradings. Okay, so it's all happening right now. There's been a couple of there's been one date at least that's passed already, which is the deadline for League One teams to submit their data to get regraded for 2025. There's a whole load of other dates of interesting things that's coming up. So let's get into this then, Carl.
No doubt, every club's. This is all they're thinking about. This, well, it's pretty much been all they've been thinking about all season. Social media, you only got to look at social media this year and see how much teams have ramped it up, which is all good. So I think what IMG are doing is kind of working. I know there's the whole London Broncos debate and things like that, which we can get into. But like you said earlier on in the show, this is for the greater good of the sport. And have we seen scoreboards installed in in Championship and Super League grounds? Yes, we have. Would that have happened if this hadn't been in? Probably not. Some teams have added new seating into the stadiums. Will that have happened? No, it probably won't. So yeah, there's a lot of positives to come from this. And yeah, like I say, there's a whole load of things to look at here, and especially the Super League teams, they've got close eye on this. Interestingly, what I think is quite good about this, IMG brought in an external company to look at the information that the clubs are submitting, so that it's fair.
And it's accurate.
It's transparent. Yeah. So I think that's good. So if you want to go through the rest of the timeline.
Yeah, so obviously September the 2nd was the deadline for League One to submit their data. Following on from that, the 23rd of September is the deadline for Super League clubs to submit their data. Moving on, the 30th is the deadline for the Championship. So lots of games going on in the Championship in a bit of an extended playoff type finish to the season. So their date is a little bit later. Then moving into October, between the 1st and the 18th, the tender process to ratify the scores and the data itself will commence. Okay, so just over 2 weeks of a third-party company getting involved and looking at that. Obviously, they're trying to avoid the issue they had with Castleford, with a misgrading there, which was missed for a couple of days, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was Castleford's fault, wasn't it?
Why?
They submitted the data wrong.
Is that what it was?
Well, I believe so. I think they tried to put the blame on the RFL at some point, but essentially it was their own. It was their own fault. So
okay, so they're trying to avoid that, which is good, and good to see that an organisation which is being used to hold Rugby League accountable,
yes,
is holding itself to account by bringing in a third party. And I think they've got to do that. Otherwise, if they got it wrong, they're going to get smashed.
Mate, yeah, it's going to be like the Wild West on Twitter in a couple of weeks' time when the dates start coming out. Yeah, so when are the final announcements made then?
Okay, so there's like a 3-stage release of the score. So first of all, on the 19th and 20th, the clubs will be given their official scoring. Okay, so they'll get their scores for 2025. On the 22nd, the clubs will be informed of all the other scores. Right. Okay. So, and then the final gradings will be issued on the 23rd. All right. So,
right. Can I make a bold prediction here?
Well, go on. I know. I can guess what you're going to say.
The 19th to the 20th, all the clubs are told their individual gradings.
That's it.
Right.
Which I suppose is like enough time for them to kind of double check it, to look through it, to wipe the brow and say, a few we made it, or to catch themselves.
So this is what's going to happen. On the 19th to the 20th, Derek Beaumont's going to get his he's going to get his score, and he's going to get up phone Richie Myler at Hull FC and he's go, "Hey Richie, what score did you get?" Oh, no, that's not right.
I don't think Derek Beaumont's going to be phoning Richie Myler. Not after the news this week. So there's a bit of unrest going on there, isn't there?
Oh, massively, yeah. Well, one, he's pinched half his players for next season, and he's threatened him with a legal battle if they finish bottom of the table. So that's just the usual pantomime stories. Yeah, but my point was, the 19th to the 20th, the clubs are going to find out. There'll be an embargo on it to stop them leaking it, but I'll guarantee you,
someone's going to.
It'll be all over Twitter. This will.
Yeah, there'll be lots of assumptions going out there, and
transfer deadline day. This will be.
Yeah, I mean, one thing for sure, we're gonna really track this, and we're going to maybe even do like daily updates as information's released and just react to stuff because it's such an imperative.
You said released then, leaked, mate. It's gonna be,
you reckon?
which club can we get into anyway to potentially leak some info?
Well, we'll get them all, mate. We'll find a rep in every team. Okay, so and then obviously the 23rd of October seems to be the key date where everyone knows where
that's when it's been made public. But by the 22nd, when each club knows what each club's gradings are, it'll be you'll know by that point who's in Super League and who's in Championship and who's where. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it all seems like a bit of a simple process. So why does it take, in effect, 4 days, 19th to 23rd, to get this information out? Surely could we just have like a big information dump and just go, right, okay, there it is. You know what I mean? Or do you think this is like some kind of pantomime thing where we building the suspense?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what the thinking is because surely even by the 19th or the 20th, if there has been a mistake by that point, there's going to be no going back, is there?
Well, no, there's a going back. You can update your scores, can't you, and do a release of that information, but just give us the gradings early. Anyway, so we're getting into the weeds. Fundamentally, clubs will know their score for 2025. Now, what that means for the 2025 season, we don't really know until we get to that point. But like I said, we're going to be covering this in depth. We're going to have some regular shows reacting to information as it's leaked, stroked, released out. So definitely interesting. And obviously, some clubs, depending on wherever they finish in the league, they're going to gain points, lose points, and there's some big clubs that are going to have some points deducted because of how they've performed this year.
Yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it? We've been debating it all year, haven't we? Is it good? Is it bad? But like I say, I think it's good what we're doing for the sport. I hope there's some movement on it though later on down the year because. In a couple of years' time, so I think we're going to lose. We already spoke about London. We're going to lose London out of the Super League this year. I believe, and you believe, that we need a London in Super League. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, after they found the Grade A clubs, there's some movement on it and how it all unfolds in the next couple of years. That's all I can really say on it at this moment in time. But I do like that they're holding clubs to account.
Yeah,
and I do think that is
the whole sport's been held to account, which is it's got to be good. It is the most powerful force in the universe. You could argue is transparency, because once you got transparency, people act differently, and that's what we've got. A big chunk of accountability for all teams, the whole sport.